Don't worry, folks. I didn't re-upload the same video. It just so happens that Tampa got another 4-1 victory, this time against the Vancouver Canucks. Before we get into the game itself, which was a exciting one, especially in the last period, I just want to talk about the fact that this was not only the first game back in Amalie Arena after the offseason. This is the first home game of the season. But also, it's the first one after the massive hurricane that just hit Florida only a few weeks ago. And before the game, they did a presentation on the response that was quite necessary in order to get Tampa back on its feet even a little bit. Apparently there was a work crew from Vancouver that came to help Tampa. And so it was really awesome seeing them. Apparently they were in the stands wearing like Tampa Bay Strong shirts, but also like obviously probably cheering on the Vancouver Canucks. It was very sweet to see, and it's their first home game. Was supposed to be on Saturday. That would have happened, obviously, if it was not for the hurricane. And I'm not sure when that particular game is postponed until. They were supposed to play the Canes again after the game the day before, but instead, I still don't know when that game is supposed to happen, but hopefully soon, if they can fit it into the schedule somewhere. Anyways, the first period was relatively normal. There was only one goal scored. It was by Kucherov, assisted by Radish and Point. In the second period, there was, again, only one goal scored. And for a while, there was only one goal scored in every period. We'll get to that in a minute. But the second goal was made by Point. With McDonough as an assist, it was pretty cool. I think that's the first time he's gotten a point since coming back to the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's an assistant coach, which makes sense because he has a lot of experience with the team and just in general. Period 3 is where most of what I'm going to be talking about happened. It happened, first of all, the third goal of the night was again made by Tampa, and it was made within a minute of the game, within a minute of period 3 starting, which is pretty cool. And for a while, it looked like it was going to be a shutout by Tampa, which is very nice in a first home game of the season. But no, it was too good to be true, because Garland of the Vancouver Canucks decided to slash Vasilevsky, which, in case you're new to hockey, slashing or touching or interacting negatively with the goalie of the opposing team is a guaranteed way of starting a fight, and start a fight it did. Sherry of Tampa, obviously defending Vasilevsky, decided to get into a fight with Garland. Now, Garland got a slashing penalty, makes sense, and Sherry got a roughing penalty, and for a while it looked like it was going to be a 4-on-4, and for 15 seconds it was a 4-on-4, which is a normal thing to happen. It doesn't happen every game, but it happens enough that we're pretty used to it, and there's strategies against that. Until Chernak tripped Peterson of the Canucks, and a 4-on-3 commenced. For a minute and 45 seconds, there was a 4-on-3, which is a nail biter. You are on the edge of your seat, like, what the hell is about to happen? Oh my god, this could be the momentum that the Canucks need to make this a closer game, and certainly not a shutout. And for 1:45, Vasilevsky had that on lock. He was blocking shots. And they managed to get out of the original 2 penalties from the Canucks and Tampa. And so they only had 15 seconds left. 15 seconds left for a 5-on-4. And I'm not sure if it happened during that 5-on-4 or immediately after the 5-on-4, but there's only so much that Vasilevsky could do, and a puck got past him, and it no longer was a shutout. It became 1 versus 3, which is still pretty good. If Tampa had walked away with a 1-3 finish in their favor, obviously that would have been fine. But then Yzerman comes in, and he manages to struggle, and he gets another goal, and it becomes 1-. Wait. Did Yzerman push Silov, the goalie for the Canucks? Did he push him? Did he push him into the net to get the puck into the net? And for a couple seconds, the goal wasn't called, and then it was called, and we were like, okay, cool, it was called. And then it was challenged by the Canucks. And there was, for more than 4 minutes, a long discussion over this goal. And let me tell you, when you look at this goal, when you look at the footage for how this goal happened, it almost definitely happened that Yzerman pushed the goalie into the net and managed to push that puck in. And yeah, that was the ultimate decision. But, like, I don't know why it took that long, like 5 minutes, to get a decision on that when it seemed pretty easy. I get that, like, challenging a goal is a little more complicated than just not calling a goal, but still, it took a long time. And so it became 1-3 again. Okay, makes sense. And then it got to that point where the Canucks said, listen, we need an extra attacker. They pulled the goalie out. And so, if you've watched my other videos, you know how I feel about pulling the goalie. I rarely ever see it work out in the team's favor, and tonight it did not work out in their favor. Hagel came in and got that empty netter, and it was such a clean empty netter. Let me tell you, it was so, like, relaxed. It was basically the end of the game. It was all fine. And then Geeky gets smacked in the face by a Canuck. I don't even know what Canuck. It was like the last 30 seconds of the game. But Geeky got shellacked. You could literally see the bleeding on his face. And there was a double minor earlier. Didn't amount to anything. Didn't actually, like, translate into a goal. But they gave a double minor for that slash, which makes sense because it was a bloody one. But there was only 30 seconds left in the game. And, like, yeah, theoretically, the Canucks could have gotten 3 goals, pushed it to overtime, and then that double minor would have meant something, but you knew that was not going to happen. Not with 30 seconds left. Not with the Canucks the way that they were playing tonight. So it was pretty clean. It was pretty dry. It was pretty set. And so, yeah, for the second game in a row, Tampa walked out with a 3-goal lead and an empty netter. At least one. So we'll see if they can keep up that momentum. Let's see if they can do it again. On Thursday, Tampa plays Vegas. I will be watching that. And then the next day, is when the Norfolk Admirals start to play again. They have a home game. I'm going to go watch it. And so my coverage of the Tampa Bay Lightning will probably be pretty scarce after that. Maybe I'll cover a few games that I see, but the Norfolk Admirals, I have season tickets. I'm going to go watch those games. So if they win again on Thursday and I make a video and then they lose the next game, listen, it's not because I don't want to cover the losing games. I'm sure those videos get a lot more views. It's just because I need to go watch the Norfolk Admirals. I'm very excited to go watch hockey in person. So that is about all that I wanted to say for tonight. I appreciate anyone who's watching these videos. I do like covering these games. It gives me a different perspective on the game, certainly, to have to sort of talk about what happened during the game rather than just like screaming and yelling and being like in it as like a fan. I can also kind of appreciate some of the things that like maybe Steve Dangle does, where like he, you know, very much processes what happened in the game and tries to like make his own determination as to whether or not he agreed with certain things. I'm sure there are people, Tampa fans, who will not like that I agree that that fourth goal should have been taken back. The one made where Silov was pushed into the goal, but it seemed pretty cut and dry. Even before you see the over-the-head shot, just seeing how much he's pushing that, like, stick into the goalie, you know, you have to agree. You have to agree. If you're being in any way objective, you kind of have to agree. But that's just me. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.